We cutting loose.
All right, Louis, ready? All right, everybody, it's time for another episode of DWMOD, man. We got a great guest on the show this week. You know the name. You're going to know the face. I promise you, this guy was a big part of your Saturday mornings growing up, no doubt about it. One of the greatest high school football players in the history of Montana, big-time Montana State Bobcat. They're heading for a national championship this weekend and next try to get it done. We're going to talk to him a little bit about that. Played a little bit with the Rams in Los Angeles and did something else pretty cool. You're going to recognize him. Let's just get to it, Louis. We'll bring him in.
We cutting loose.
Touchdown.
Ready? College football is now B1G versus SEC.
Down. Hook.
If you ain't listening to All Right Bet with me and Andy St. Clair, you're throwing away money.
Ready.
All Lions fans drinking that Kool-Aid. Super Bowl. Hey, disagree with me or don't. That's how it works. Louis, this is the day. We've been waiting a couple weeks. We got him ready to go. You sure? But all right, hey, welcome to the show. No further delay. It's Jim Starr.
What's going on?
American Gladiators, buddy. What's
Getting her
up?
done, baby. Getting her done.
I
Love it,
love
Mikey. Thanks for having me back. This is what our second go around now that
Yeah,
we've
man.
done
I
this.
appreciate
Third time's a charm, man. We got to think about the third one coming out here.
it. Yeah,
So-
man. I'm ready. I'm ready whenever you are, man. Glad to have
Yeah.
you back on the show, my man. Always good to see you. Things been well.
Yeah, doing well. Can't complain. Family's well. Job's doing great. Everything's aligning. Getting ready for the new year, 2026. I can't believe this year is already gone. It's just crazy fast. I guess when you get older, things go faster, and when you get younger, you want things faster, and then you get older and you want things to slow down.
You
So,
ain't
you know,
kidding. You ain't kidding, man. As I'm getting older, I'm like, man, that's the whole year's bygone
Right.
already.
yeah,
We're
It's
supposed to
crazy.
have more hands on our time on our hands now, and it feels like we don't.
right. Yeah,
I
for
know,
sure.
man. I don't even understand a lot of it. So, hey, you're getting ready. We're going to get to Montana State and Montana, the big game this week, and how awesome
Yeah.
they're playing each other in the semis. They already met once.
Yeah.
You're heading out to the game, meeting up with some fellas from the '84 Montana State, national championship team.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It should be a ton of fun. So all my roommates were juniors. I was the only senior that lived in our house, and we just had a hell of a time my senior year. And so we're all going back for the game this weekend. Should be one of everybody in Montana is going. I got to tell you, the Brawl of the Wild's one of the oldest rivalries in the United States as far as a football rivalry. They play earlier every year in November. And now that both of these teams, it's probably once in a lifetime, Mikey, that all of us that are alive today will see both those teams in the semifinals playing each other. Whoever wins that goes to the national championship in Nashville. So it's just exciting. And I got to tell you, my roommates, we were roommates, 40 years ago. And now we're going to be renting a house and we're all together again. It's just kind of culmination of it all. It's just exciting. My wife and I fly out Friday and meeting all my buddies, and it'll be a weekend of drinking and partying and having fun and laughing. And so looking forward to it.
Oh man, it's going to be awesome. Like, and anybody that listens to this show that's ever been a part of a locker room, even a high school locker room, but more so college and pro even, man, those relationships, you don't see a guy for 20 years and you can jump right in. You don't miss a beat.
Oh yeah. You don't miss it. That's a great thing about having great friends, friends that you grew up with. You don't have to do all the minutia, right? And catch up. You talk, you don't see each other for a few years. You catch up with, like we just saw each other. And that's what's great about having great friends. It's nothing ever changes.
Yeah. Great thing too about back in the day, how, you kind of just stayed at one school. You stayed at one school. You
not like nowadays where you 5 different schools and you got portal transfers and it's like, who's with who? And I don't understand it, but it is what it is in today's age.
It is, man. It is what it is. They'll try to figure that thing out, I guess, man. So now listen, after your time at Montana State, make a run at the NFL.
Yeah.
And now you wound up on American Gladiators. We all know that. Now walk us through a little bit like how you went from one to the other there. So from Montana State to where?
Yeah, for sure. So my senior year, and I'll kind of start there, I missed 4.5 games. I had a serious ankle injury my senior year. My junior year was my first year at linebacker. We had a coach by the name of Doug Graber who came in my junior year, and during our spring ball, he came in around January of my entering my senior year. He started a winter conditioning program, toughest program I've ever been involved in. Getting up at 4:30 in the morning. It was a 2.5-hour workout. Kicked our ass, and I got to tell you that guy changed many of those athletes' lives in terms of what hard work is all about and reaching their goals and reaching team goals as well. So we get done with winter conditioning my junior year, going into my spring ball, and he says, "Hey Jim, I know you want to play in the NFL. You don't have the 4.4 speed, And he said, your mentality during this winter conditioning program just tells me that you're made for the defensive position, linebacker. Do you want to try it spring ball? You like it, great. If you don't, we'll pull you back to because I was a starting fullback at Montana State." And I said, "Yeah, let's give it a try." Man, did I excel. I just was like, why wasn't I doing this 10 years ago?
Yep.
And I broke all kinds of records. I had 202 tackles my junior year, 32 in one game. There's still records today, unofficial, because they really didn't start taking official stat records through the NCAA. I think maybe 1990, 10 years later.
Even then, they're spotty at best.
Yeah, they're spotty at best. And they were still taking great stats back then. So anyhow, roll forward my senior year, I ended up missing 4.5 games. And I was even asked by my coaches, "Hey, if you don't go in on this 4th game, we're going to gray shirt you. You'll get another year of eligibility." But as an athlete, you don't care about next year. You just want to play. So my 4th game of missing, I went in on the 4th quarter of that 4th game, and I missed my eligibility. And we went 1-10, I think, my senior year. Terrible season. The next year, these guys end up winning the national championship, and they're all my roommates. They're still my best friends today. They all get inducted into the Hall of Fame. They're big time, right? It's the last time Montana State won the national championship. Even though they were in it last year, they lost. Yeah. I went to that game in Texas. So, but it's a big thing. It's for Montana State and University of Montana, one of the oldest rivalries in the nation. It goes back, I think, almost 100 years. It's called Brawl of the Wild. They play right around Thanksgiving. And for those two teams to be in the playoffs, and it's once in a lifetime opportunity that they're both in the semifinals. Whoever wins that game goes to Nashville for the national championship. I don't think anybody in the state of Montana is not attending. And it's going to be tickets are tough to come by, but there's going to be so many people that are just there for the tailgating and just to be there. Yep. It's once in a lifetime. It's going to be one heck of a battle and a lot of fun as well.
It's going to be unreal, man. It is going to be unreal. I'd love to see what that's going to be like up there, man. That is going to be awesome. So one of those two teams are going to be now. Montana State beat them earlier in the year, I think 31-28. Hell of a football game, field goal game. They're the home team, right? You guys have home field advantage.
Home team. They're favored, but the last several games, U of M, and my brother played for University of Montana. He was a starting nose guard. Those guys have just the last couple games have really elevated their playing, and who knows? It's going to be a tough one. I don't care who's favored, and when it comes to the Brawl of the Wild, doesn't matter who's favored in that game. It's they got the home field advantage, but in these type of games, I don't think it matters really.
That's going to be an awesome football game. Look, if you're only dialed into like FBS football right now, and you're like, "Oh, I'm going to watch all these playoff games this weekend and bowl games or whatever," don't miss this one. It'll be on ESPN, baby. You check this. This could be a hell of a football game.
It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. The weather's probably, I looked at the weather, a little colder. I'm in Denver now. It's supposed to be, I don't think, low 20s or something. It's going to be a cold one, but we'll see what happens. You know?
It's going to be definitely cold. Probably get some snow and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's going to be an awesome one. So then you head from there. Now, what happened with the Rams there? Now, how did you get hooked up on that?
Yeah, so the United States Football League came about my senior year. So that was their first year that they came up with that organization. And I was drafted by the San Antonio Gunslingers, and they only drafted 2 inside linebackers, and I was one of them. Unfortunately, they never got a hold of my agent, Ken Stanager, who's no longer with us. Bless his soul. He was a great guy out of Montana. They never even called my agent until 2 weeks after the fact I was drafted. Go figure, right? And my agent said,
all out.
yeah, like, man, I don't even know if this league's going to last. They didn't even call us. Like, what, you were drafted. So that, really discouraged myself and my agent. And he said, hey, let's just forego it. I think you're going to get drafted by the NFL. Unfortunately, your 4-game, loss that you missed, plus your team didn't do well. Nobody knows about you guys. This was back in the day, right?
Sure.
Before social media, cell phones, nobody knew about Montana State. The good thing, Doug Graber, my coach, my junior year, left my senior year because I was there his junior year, going into my junior year. He left my senior year. He went as the defensive back coordinator for the DBs at Kansas City Chiefs. So I was pretty sure I was going to get drafted, or at least as an opportunity, as a
training
free agent
camp invite or something.
That's right. Unfortunately, I didn't get drafted, and I thought I was going to. And so I went on to the Chiefs, went right down to the 4th preseason game, expecting to make it, and I blew out that same ankle. And so they sent me home. For sure, probably, when I did the testing skills, the 40-yard dash, the mile run, the vertical, I outscored all the linebackers. I did phenomenal. And unfortunately, I hurt my ankle. So they sent me home. Went back to school for another quarter because I had 2 quarters left. And then Canada signed me with Toronto, and I was up there for about 1.5 years. Unfortunately, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. They have some silly rules in terms of how many Americans can be on the injury reserve. They end up trading you. And that wasn't my gig, So I thought I was discouraged again, went back home, went back to Montana State in 1986 and graduated with my degree. And then the Rams picked me up during the strike season. And ended up making the team because you still had to try out. First game running down on a kickoff in the Superdome with the Saints, and the guy just happened to just catch my arm just perfectly, and everything it was like a car crash is what they explained to me. And so I punctured my larynx. Well, I crushed my larynx, and I punctured my lung. I broke a rib, and that went in, and I had internal bleeding, had an impaction fracture of my scapula. That's what broke my lung and punctured the lung. And the crazy thing, it was the first play of the game, but I played the whole game with it because I was scared to come out, and then I took the shoulder pads off, and that truly was the end of my career. And it was 3 years from 1987 to almost 1990. Took 3 years to heal up from that injury. Didn't even expect my voice to come back. Nobody did. I got to tell you, Mikey, for those athletes that go through those times when their careers are over unexpectedly,
sure,
it was unexpected. And I got to tell you, it was a difficult time in my life. You're contemplating all kinds of bad things in your mind because it's taken away. You're left just thinking, what am I going to do with my life? You're depressed. Every day I knew exactly how to train, what to do, how to eat. And then that is taken away. And it's like, what am I going to do? I mean, now I'm going to get a job. I'm going to get a 9 to 5, 8 to 5 job. No, that's not in my wheelhouse. It was some dark times, boy. It really was. And then 1990, I was living with Dan Clark, who also played in the NFL. He was an outside linebacker and also played for San Jose. We became roommates because he played with the Rams. And then we both tried out for American Gladiators, and I made it. And I was the only Gladiator that lasted all 8 seasons, so I was really fortunate.
That's why I got that on my list here, but to ask you about, just to bring that up, you're the only Gladiator that was in every single season. Now,
every single
87
season
was the year that you were with the Rams there, 87, 88.
Yeah.
Listen, I picked up this whole box of these 87 football stickers here. I'm going to try to see if I can get in there.
Maybe
Starr
I'm in there. Who knows? But, here's the thing, people, I still remember the picket lines. We were basically called scabs, right? Because we came in and filled in for the regular. But shit, you still had to be a damn good player to make the NFL. It's no joke, And I mean, all these guys that ended up being scabs, if you want to call them that, they either had a career in the NFL and they were cut. They were with the USFL, were cut. Canada, they were all great players. I mean, it is what it is. It's I still feel fairly proud that I made the NFL for a short stint. And I truly believe I watch all the games that I watch, I always watch the linebackers, right? And unfortunately for me, in my career and who I was only 5'11" and a half. And the stereotypical linebacker back in the 80s was 6'2" to 6'4", 6'5". I didn't fit that mold, right?
Sure.
Nowadays, it doesn't matter how tall you are in the NFL. And I watch these guys play and I'm thinking, and I'm not being cocky or arrogant by any means, but you put yourself in those shoes, right? Thinking,
sure.
Am I just as good as those guys? And to be honest, I mean, I look back at my career and look at these guys playing. I'm thinking, man, I was just as good. I should have been playing, but unfortunately, injuries catch up to you.
You bring up a good point, because back then, like in the 80s, like that, it was land of the giants. The speed wasn't like, they wanted the running back to be all about run people, but everybody else, they just wanted to smash mouth. And nowadays it's all about vertical, sideline to sideline, but you got to be able to run. You got to, so it is a different game now. You're right, man. I think it would suit you a lot better nowadays.
Yeah, it would. It really would. I think I was before my time. I think if I was 10 years, 15 years ahead of where I was in the 80s and I threw myself into the 90s or 2000s, I definitely probably would have had a nice long career. And, there's some regrets in your life. I should have went to the USFL. They only drafted 2 linebackers. I would have been starting for sure. Got some good playing time, a couple years under my belt, and then either went up to Canada again or maybe made a name for myself in the NFL, just like Alex Singleton did with the Denver. He was up in Canada and made a hell of a name for himself, and he's from Montana State, and he's one of the best linebackers in the NFL now. So, geez, look at his career.
Yeah. Well, you know what they say, man. You don't know what you don't know. You know what I mean?
True.
Until you
don't know what you don't know. I love that. That's very true.
That's how it goes, man. So you wind up down in LA. You wind up getting onto American Gladiators, and like I said, you're the only gladiator that's in every single season of that show. Now, last year when we had you on the show, before we were on Cutting Loose Network now, so bear with me, because there's a lot of folks now, Jim, that are new to the crew. They didn't get to check that out. So let's hit on that a little bit. Now, those documentaries came out. Now, the documentary that all the gladiators are featured in, and you prominently, that was on Netflix, 4-part series, Muscles and Mayhem. And now the guy that put the whole damn thing together, I use that loosely. That loosely, but it's Johnny Ferraro.
Yeah.
He was putting together a ESPN documentary, a 30 for 30 on American Gladiators. And both of these things are happening almost at the same time, right?
That's very true. Almost at the same time. And what happened there is Johnny Ferraro ended up calling us, all of us individually, and asked if we wanted to be on this ESPN 30 for 30 documentary. I think they wanted 2 to 3 episodes of 30 by 30.
Sure.
And he point blank said, hey, this show's going to be about me. Now, you guys are just sort of like backups. You'll be part of the story, but we can't pay you either. And all of us got together, as we normally do, and we all call each other and say, hey, Johnny Ferraro said it's all about him and there's no money involved. And we finally, we just put our foot down and said, no more. I mean, they didn't pay us to begin with, hardly. They took advantage of us. They didn't give us any.
The thing, Jim, is like they didn't pay you guys back then. That's the major part of the whole documentary that you guys will find out when you watch these things, and you should watch these. They're awesome. You will find out quickly that they were taking advantage of you guys to no end. I mean, they were paying you nothing. Yeah. And then the show went to like #1 in the world, not just America, like in the world. They're making millions and millions hand over fist. They've got you guys out doing appearances, taping multiple episodes a day. Yeah. They're doing action figures and
everything.
We didn't get cards.
Mikey, we didn't get a dime. We didn't get any royalty fees off. I was on macaroni and cheese boxes, the Vitamin Gladiator line, keychains, Halloween costumes. I mean,
nothing.
Nintendo. We didn't get a dime.
Yeah, Nintendo.
You know what? It's just sad. That wouldn't happen nowadays, but it is what it is. I made enough money on the show to purchase my first house back in the 80s. So I feel good about that. But it's just, Johnny Ferraro did call us, and all of us got together as far as the A-list of gladiators. And we said, we're not doing this. We're not going to be taken advantage of again. If you guys want us, at least pay us a little bit of money for the day shoot. They didn't do it. So they balked, and he said, we'll get our own gladiators. I don't even know how they got it, because they ended up, the the Gladiators that were on that 30 for 30 only had been on maybe 1 or 2 episodes in all of the seasons we did.
Right.
They acted like they were on the seasons forever, how they made the show, and it didn't go over very well. So that's Johnny's version. Then almost simultaneously, the Netflix comes around and says, hey, we want to do this 5-part documentary and we'll even pay you. We're like, let's do it. And we all got together. We had a great producer, director. If you watch the episodes, there's 5 of them. Man, did they do a good job. They didn't sensationalize it. They told the truth. We saw some backstage footage that none of us have ever seen. It was just, they did a really good job.
It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
It really was. It was really good.
Last year, now you guys listening, last year, Jim came on the show and we did like an in-depth dive into both of these documentaries because they came out right around that time. And we're going to go ahead and air that interview for you guys to check out later so you can get some real inside baseball on what was going on there. Because there's a lot of good nuggets that you dropped last year that we won't get into here. We just tease them a little bit. You guys could check that out because I mean, then they come back at you and then listen, just go check out that interview because then they come back around and like, no, be on Johnny Ferraro's and we'll give you some peanuts. And you guys are like, the balls on this guy to not pay you before and screw you over. Well, and then come back and be like, do it again for free and make it about me. Like, what a charlatan.
Well, there's another guy that he really screwed, and here I am kind of I try to always never burn a bridge in life. Right. So here's Johnny Ferraro. I'll give you 2 stories. Johnny Ferraro, Prime Video, they just went over to France because they have the French version. They have their own Gladiator version and they have all the equipment set up. Prime Video went over and they hired the Miz. I guess he's a World Wrestling guy.
I'm familiar with
They hired him as a host. They shot their own Gladiator version over there. They didn't ask any of us originals to either pass the torch, be on the show, either as host, trainers, just appearances, a cameo. They never asked us. And that's Johnny, right? He's behind the whole thing. Of course. So it is what it is. So I'm sure we'll see how that fares once it launches, but it's really sad to think that that Johnny truly believes that he was the reason that show became so popular. It wasn't. It was the Contenders and the Gladiators 100%. and the games. And here's what's amazing. Dan Carr, who's a big he's a logger. He's a tough guy from Erie, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
He's the one that came up with the name American Gladiators, and they had these versions of these games. Him and Johnny became really good friends, and then they became best friends.
Mm-hmm.
And so Dan is co-creator, but he was never paid as a co-creator. Johnny screwed him out of all the money. He ended up losing his house. He barely could put his daughter through college. I mean, it just, you know, the background story of Dan Carr, it's the saddest developments.
It's so sad, Jim. We and again, like we dive into that a little deeper on that interview that will air, but they call it Apache Dan was his name.
Apache Dan.
And the pipe workers up there in Pennsylvania that started these games originally. Yep. Now that is all in the original documentary, the ESPN version that Ferraro talks about inventing it and all. And you will see how badly he screws this guy over and really destroys his life.
He destroyed his life. Because he was banking on it. And here's Johnny making millions. Dan Carr, he just ended up 2 years ago through a lawsuit, ended up paying him $20,000. Like, and while Johnny's probably pocketing over 200 million, who knows how much he made off the show. Just sad. Tell me that's a good friend there, boy. You know,
they tell you everything you need to know in that ESPN documentary with him when they're going over his youth, when he's impersonating Elvis. And now listen, when I tell you this guy's impersonating Elvis, I don't mean like in the 80s in Vegas and shit. We're talking about right around the time Elvis is actually doing his thing. This guy's pretending that he's Elvis and the Prince of rock and roll and getting records pressed and trying to sell like Elvis's stuff as his own. This guy is a charlatan, bro.
Yeah, he's a charlatan. And I got to tell you, so I always try to rise above it, right? So I reach out to Johnny. Hey, and a text, I have his cell phone, right? So texting him, hey, Wish you a happy, a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope the show does well for you. No return tax. Like, come on, bro. I mean, rise above it, be a man. I mean, but he is what it is. You can feel some contention there. There is, it's like he screwed everybody over, and it's all about Johnny Ferraro. What comes around goes around. That's how I look at life,
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. That's the way you got to look at it. You got to keep moving forward. You can't, like, I just got done telling this to my son the other day. Some things going on, not to get into anything personal, but it was just kind of like normal stuff,
Yeah.
But I was telling him, like I always try to tell, but like what you just said, man, don't let other people change you.
Yeah.
Be who you are, be a good person, be the better person. Don't let other people's dumb shit change who you are. Don't respond, don't get angry, be you. You know what I mean?
You just be an authentic human being at the end of the day. I don't care if you get fired from your job, you leave with grace and humility, and it all comes around.
It'll come around.
You leave being a jerk, you're going to be known as a jerk, and
they'll get exposed, especially narcissists like Ferraro. And that'll bring me to my last point on this. When you guys watch this thing, watch them in this order. And we agreed on this before we talked about it, Jim. Watch the ESPN one first.
Yeah, please do.
The 30 for 30 first, because that director brilliantly just lets Johnny Ferraro be the narcissist he is, and just lets him just talk and ramble and keeps acting like, oh, you're great, this is great, tell us more about how you did it, and he just hangs himself through the whole thing. By the end of this documentary, you're going, what a turd this guy is, man. And then go watch Muscles and Mayhem,
then
and
you'll
see how he did you guys, and then you get the whole true story. And it's a bummer, dude.
Yeah, it's a completely different story, and it's the truth. It's the real story, right? So, I mean, we're not going to, come up with something that is untrue. So, watch our, the Muscles and Mayhem. The great thing about it, when it came out 2 years ago, it was the #1 documentary for 3 weeks in a row. First time it's ever happened. This is what we've heard through Netflix, is that it was the #1 documentary for 3 weeks in a row, which is pretty cool to say, right? I mean,
really
it's
cool.
Has a lot to say. And there was the greatest thing, Mike, is watching. We're watching the documentary. All of us, we're in different locations watching it. We binge watched it, all of us, and there was stuff on that show that I've never seen before, like footage. Lori Fetrick, who was Ice, had all this backstage footage on her big camera, and she forgot she even had it in storage, and Netflix ended up purchasing that from her. But to see some of that backstage footage, we're on the bus partying, things like you forget about, and you're like, wow, what a memory. None of us realized what we were creating. Dan Clark said something that was really profound to me one day. He said, none of us took in the moment. Like none of us slowed down to understand quite what we were bringing to the world. And we didn't even know what we were creating. We didn't slow down enough to appreciate it. And he said that a few years ago. And because I did a 30 for 30 documentary that never ended up airing, about a small guy in Montana that makes it big. It was awesome, but they never ended up airing it. And Dan said that then in the documentary that we did for 30 for 30. It was just something really profound that he said.
It's the truth, man. You guys were rock stars, man. You guys were global rock stars at that time. And it's like, how could you possibly anybody that listen, if you're in your 20s, late 20s, there's no talking to you. And if you're like a little bit older, in your 40s, like myself, and even older stuff, you look back and you think, at 28, I would have never been able to slow down and realize and live in the moment. No way. You're rock stars.
Yeah, you're just going. You're just happy to be alive. You're not thinking about tomorrow, right? You're just
you just live in the world by the balls, man. Yeah, there's no talking to somebody at that like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, very true.
But listen, we got a little clip here just to touch on some of the good stuff. Jump back into some great stuff. Here's a little hit clip of you taking people down. Let's take a look at this, buddy. Look at that one. Boom. A little tower action there. I love it. Put them down. Put them down. I love it. Put them down, man. There it is again. Oh. Yeah, love it, man. Love it, man. I love it, dude.
Let's do it. Oh yeah.
That was always my favorite on
my-
Saturday mornings.
my-
I mean, I was one of those kids that I was a big football guy, and I just was like, I watched that show to see you guys put them down, man.
shit.
We would
We
get
did
together
too.
and people would be watching and like they're cheering for the competitors, and I would
Always.
always be like, I'm cheering for the Gladiators. I'm like, bust that dude's ass, put him in the ground, man.
Yeah, we did too. It was fun, boy. It was a lot of fun. It was
Yeah,
like
man.
professional football with no pads on. That's what it was.
And they got you guys taping multiple times a day.
Oh, it was awful.
Yeah, like you got no choice but to go out there and impose your will on a guy. You're tired, your fourth episode of the day, you're beat up. You're like, I gotta just intimidate this guy and get him to back down,
Yeah, it was a tough run, 3 weeks of 26 to 29 episodes in a matter of 3 weeks and long days. If you got hurt, and you just, man, the pain pills and things we were taking just to survive. Because, the way you made your money was you had to be on the show, and then your residuals, over the course of years and years of every time they show it, you got a residual payment. If you missed one show, you're talking thousands and thousands of dollars. So it didn't matter how hurt you were, you're going to go in no matter what, right?
Yeah,
so,
you can't be losing your spot. Yeah, for sure, man. Understandable. Now listen, before we get into some quick hits and some other things we do on the show, just like last time, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up adjacent acquaintance of mine through some other people I know in the comedy world and stuff, Brooks Wheelan, who was on, he was a Saturday Night Live guy. He's a traveling comedian stuff. His uncle was Teddy LePage.
He was tough. Let me tell you, Teddy LePage is, he was a world-class wrestler. That guy was tough. And I remember in the Conquer ring, because he was, I think, a NCAA champion.
He played football at Missouri as well.
He's a stud, man.
Oh yeah. I was talking to Brooks at a party one time, and he was telling me all about it. And he goes, he was my hero, man. Like we were like, he was on American Gladiators and like did well.
Yeah, he did well. He did.
So I got this little clip here of him in the Conquer ring. Now I'm going to tell you right now, it's not you in the Conquer ring with him.
Probably Dan Clark, probably Nitro.
But
him and I had a heck of a match, and he ended up pulling me out of the ring, if I can recall it. But let's watch her. Let's see.
Sure. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if I'd call him the underdog or the comeback kid.
Yeah, I think that's
He does
Turbo
a great
there.
job
He's gonna
here.
push
He
him
finds
out.
himself right in the middle of Turbo and
Look at
takes
that.
it.
Ted, be nice now. You got 3 more events to come.
Yes, sir. They said earlier it was like playing professional football, and that's always been a desire of mine. And gosh dang, for a second I thought I was out there. These guys are great.
Excellent stuff.
That's one of the great moments from the show too. Class act. He's a class act. You guys class act. But like Turbo's got 100 damn pounds on him. He just drives him right out of the ring, man. He's a competitor, man.
Turbo was a stud too. He was probably the only gladiator that never went into the NFL. But you talk a guy that, to me, I think between he and I think Turbo was one of the most well-rounded athletes we had as a gladiator. He was tough, man. He was just mentally tough. He was one heck of an athlete, man.
It's funny you say that, because we're going to circle back around on that gentleman in a little bit. I got a little something I want to show you and talk to you about Turbo for. But before we get to that, let's jump into some of our regular segments here, Jim, called Quick Hits. But before we do that, we have to get to the sponsors here. Now, True Laundry Detergent is our sponsor, and we've got Minor League Baseball Hall of Fame announcer Gordon Butterfield on the call for What Just Happened. And before I play this video, I want to ask you a question now. You know, those like the boats that people take little tours around, like ferries around New York or somewhere like that, they're pretty big. You feed like 60 people, 50, 60 people in there. If you were standing on top of one of those, what kind of an athletic feat do you think it would be to broad jump right over the bow and into the water? Not run and jump, just stand still and jump right over the bow of the ship.
I think I'd take out like 20 guys.
That's a hell of a jump. So
that's one hell of a broad jump right there.
It is. Let's see how this person does on this one with Gordon. Here we go.
What just happened?
What just happened is brought to you by True Laundry Detergent. It's a locally owned company, and these fellas live in the neighborhood. They're saving you money. That's 101 loads in one bag.
They got laundry detergent and fabric softener. They've even got dry sheets for you. Got sensitive skin, they've got the free and clear. No fragrances, no dyes, no additives. Or if you don't like liquids, they've even got the detergent sheets. Just drop one in every load. There's 60 loads in that box. Just head on over to thetrueproducts.com for all your laundry needs. And don't forget to use your code CUTTINGLOOSE1 to get you 10% off your first order. That's True Laundry Detergent. It's Gordon approved. Well, that's Big Minuta looking to break a 1984 bow jump record, but I think she's too far back. Oh, she breached a hole and they're taking on water. Abandoned ship. Oh my, let's take another look at a human being sinking a ship. I don't even think she realizes she's coming in hot and she's folded up like a warm towel and turtles it. Guess she knocked herself right into the depths of David Jones' locker. Oh my. And the crew was just having a beautiful day on Lake Elsinore until the horror set in. It's like a scene out of Pearl Harbor. Bang! And the Arizona's taking on water with their crew in the drink. But I gotta give the old bird credit. She cleared a good 12 feet. Just wasn't enough. And the gales of November came early.
Oh, what just happened?
That is, oh my God, I couldn't quit laughing. Oh my
I
God.
gotta give it to her, man. That's a hell of a jump for an old bird that's 300 pounds, man.
Who knows if that's real or not, but it's still funny.
She damn near made it. I had to give her a little bit of credit, but I don't know if she survived it. So I don't
Gee whiz, I doubt it. Gee whiz, she probably drowned.
She
Gee
probably
whiz.
drowned, man. All right, let's get to some quick hits, Louie. All right, hey, on quick hits this week, Jim, it's AJ nothing but a number. These guys in the NFL, we've seen it in baseball, we see it in basketball, LeBron James, the longevity, the playing into your 40s, but in the NFL, no. I mean, Tom Brady, a quarterback, you know, in his shape, we saw him do it, but like, come on, man. Phillip Rivers comes back this week after sitting on the couch for 4 weeks, and goes up to Seattle, one of the toughest places to play, and won the game for him until the defense blew it with 30 seconds left, gave up another field goal. Come on, man. Here's Phillip Rivers. I mean, a little dejected after the game, but Phillip, come on, man. I mean, hell of a show for him. Like, just pretty impressive, no?
Yeah, come on. 5 years being out and then comes back and almost won that game. I think they got beat by a field goal, but
at the
wow,
end.
you talk about, you know, think about 5 years. He's 40. What is he? 44?
44.
I mean, 44. I mean, that just doesn't happen.
No.
I mean, to almost come back and win, and he had a good game, right? I mean, it wasn't like he was just coming in and embarrassed himself.
No, he threw the touchdown pass that gave him the lead in the fourth quarter, and then the Colts took the lead back, and then with a minute something to go, he took them down for the game-winning field goal, and then the Seahawks in 30 seconds went down and got his field goal to win it.
Yeah. If you think about it, Mikey, there's, and I put some stats on, there's 1,696 players in the NFL, 32 games, 53-man roster. Any guy that's over 40 is 0.03 to 0.05%. Do you realize that? Like, it doesn't happen, right? There's only
2 quarterbacks.
I think there's only 5 guys in the NFL that are over 40. Yeah. And he's the oldest, I think, at 44. Yeah. It just doesn't happen.
No.
You know, and, you know, they activated him to, you know, the player roster before the Seattle game.
Yep.
And, you know, based on his, you know, there's 18 games, whatever, you know, what he's getting paid per, you know, because you have to play at least 7 seasons. I can't remember what the stats are, but, you know, he's making $73,000 a game, something like that. I mean, it's not bad at all. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I mean, it just doesn't happen.
His oldest child is older than the backup quarterback.
That's right. Do you know who, you know, I play pickleball with Ben DiNucci. Do you know Ben?
No, I don't.
Okay. So Ben was a quarterback, played also with Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
He's been in and out of the league, played with many teams. He went back this year just for 1 or 2 games. But I talked to Ben last week. He goes, "Can you believe they signed Phillip Rivers of all people? They could have signed me." And I said, "Yeah, they should have signed you, Ben. You're still young and you've been playing." Like you just wonder where their thinking was when they signed him. Was it, I don't know. Like Ben
He was
DiNucci,
on the
you look him
roster
up, he's a
4
good
years
player.
ago.
Yeah.
I think he was on the roster 4 years ago, and he knew the offense, was familiar
I
with
think
the
that's
team.
what it was. He was with the Colts for a year,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I think he was with the Colts for
He
1
was with
year.
the Colts and went to the playoffs.
Yeah, and I think that's why he probably knew the playbook. Easy to come in,
Yep.
not have to teach something new.
They
But,
wanted
you know,
somebody, a salty veteran that would just manage the game and wouldn't try to do dumb things. Yeah.
That's right. You know, unfortunately, too, most of the time, the quarterback's the smartest guy in the field. They really are. They're just smart people. You know, like Ben DiNucci. I mean, shit, he could have figured it out easily. But yeah, I think to your point, Mike, they wanted a veteran that knew the system and had the feel of the Colts and all of that. So yeah, I wish him luck, man. I think it's pretty cool.
I hope they make a run at the damn Super Bowl. I hope he gets that Super Bowl that he never had before.
Yeah,
Now you brought up, the 0.4%. Like, those are all quarterbacks now. And here's a dude that nobody talks about that I think is even more impressive. Mercedes Lewis.
Yeah.
Mercedes Lewis. Now, he just got released by the Broncos, but I think they signed him back to the practice squad or whatever. But Jim, this guy's 41 years old.
Yeah.
Got drafted in 2006. Come on, LeBron James. What? LeBron James, that's the NBA. This guy's been doing it in the NFL. This is crazy to me. 20 years in the NFL. Let me pull up. He was a first-round draft pick in 2006. Look at this draft, Jim. Okay, you got Reggie Bush and Vince Young at the top of this draft. AJ Hawk, who's famous on TV right now, great linebacker. Matt Leinart and Jay Cutler were in this draft. You know what I mean? And then you got down there at the bottom there, Nick Mangold, God rest his soul, passed away this last year. These are guys that were drafted when he was drafted. This is ridiculous.
Unbelievable, right? You think about it. I mean, I think they call it, what's his nickname? Big Dog or something like that.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Unbelievable. Think about 20 years. That 20-year career in any business, especially pro sports and the NFL, 20 years.
In the trenches, tight end? What? It's crazy.
You know who it reminds me? Who's the brothers? The brother, they're out of Agora Hills, California. One guy played linebacker, and the brothers both played offensive tackle. Or they're brothers.
I don't know.
God, they both the brothers. They played 20-some years. It's like, are you kidding me?
It's crazy.
Oh my,
it's crazy, man. That's crazy to play it long. Tip of the cap to those fellas getting it done, man.
Well,
Louis quick with those graphics, Joe.
Louis, slow down, brother.
He's quick with those graphics, Louis.
Yeah,
I have laser after you, buddy, but cool it out. Cool it out. All right, well, hey, let's jump into our next segment. This is one of my favorites. My co-host Andy, who is not with us today. It's based on an epic meltdown that he had on this show before. We call it No Way.
No way. There's no way. No way.
Now, we were talking about age and athletes and things like that. And with what you're doing now, even after American Gladiators, injuries and things and keeping yourself fit, things like that. Perfect topic to bring up with you, because look, here's a quick shot of you. You still got it, buddy. Look at that.
Oh, thank you.
Look at that, man. That bottom photo. I saw that. And my wife was like, you better put the gym back together, Mike. I better start
that was
working
last
back
year.
out. Holy moly, dude. You're still looking like that, man. You got to go on, Jim.
Not bad for 63 years old. So.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying no. Hey,
no way. There's no way. No way.
There is no way I'm ever going to look like that, but maybe I'll try to lose a little weight. I'll tell Chloe, I'll try to tell you inspired me. I'll try to lose a little weight. But let's talk a little bit about the injuries in the NFL now.
Yeah.
The knees and Achilles, ACLs and Achilles, the numbers are on the rise. And there's this push from the NFL right now. Well, from the Players Association, they want to force all the teams to get rid of turf and go back to grass. They want to have it, from my understanding, they want to collectively bargain that. We're like, look, we're done with the turfs. You guys are making enough money. Start paying for the grass, quit being cheap. Here's a list of injuries from just this year. We saw Micah Parsons tore his earlier, Patrick Mahomes, Nick Bosa, Malik Neighbors, Tariq Hill, Tucker. These are all stars in the league. Najee Harris, Sandra Jones. The Lions just lost Brian Branch. That's a tough one for us. Now I want to ask you this, because I've said and thought this for a long time. The turf absolutely does have something to do with it. There's no denying that. It does. It does. These guys are big and fast. I think that the elephant in the room nobody's talking about is overtraining. I think these guys are just nowadays, these athletes, they're overtraining, and you're getting your body to a point where, you know, you have to be more explosive. So you're trying to work those hip flexors, work those to make them more explosive and bigger and faster and stronger. Now you've got these big, huge muscles that are more explosive than ever. And ligaments, depending on a guy's build, your ligaments sometimes just aren't made. It's like putting a Lamborghini engine in like an old Mustang. Like, you're going to blow the tires out, man.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think about that? You know more about this stuff.
I'll disagree with that, Mikey.
Okay.
And the reason is I don't think they're overtraining. I think these guys are becoming, because of the training and the modules and everything that is accessible to these trainers or these athletes today, based on trainers and dietitians and what's on the internet and, you know, plyometrics and all this different type of training.
Sure.
These guys are becoming so explosive, so big, so fast, stronger, quicker. I'm amazed there's not. I even said it to my wife on this last Monday Night Football game. I said, I'm truly amazed that there's not someone seriously injured on every freaking play. Every play. Like, someone should be seriously injured. I do agree on the turf stuff, though, because I played on turf. There's no give, right? I mean, to me, when you look at like when you just showed the torn ACLs and the Achilles, maybe I both of those injuries, which, geez, they're awful, especially Achilles tendon. Gee whiz. You know, there's a way to stretch your Achilles. Who knows if these athletes do it? I mean, all these trainers that are hired by these teams, they know what they're doing. They're the top heap of the world, right? Of knowing what they're doing with sports performance. Probably has a lot to do with the turf, those type of injuries, right? Because there's no give, right?
Right. Yeah.
But again, I don't think they're overtraining, Mike. I just think that the training has become so much better that these players are becoming just better and better, and the hits are hellacious. I mean, oh my God, I can't believe that they're truly. I don't. When you look at this, when you're in person and you watch these hits, and what goes on, I'm amazed that there's not more injuries. Like, a lot of injuries.
They used to do this sports science show, and probably it had to have been about 10 years ago now, when Ndamukong Suh, even more. Ndamukong Suh was coming out of college, he should have won the Heisman Trophy as a defensive tackle for the stats he was putting up. They did one with him where they just have him like coming off the ball like as fast as he can, running into a dummy, hitting it, and they were like, you know, how much pressure, force, all that. It was like the force of like a Mack truck at like 30 miles an hour without hitting the brakes or something. I remember watching that, and I'm like, I said it back then, and I'll say it again. We will see someone die on the field in our time.
Yeah. Oh, there is no doubt, Mike.
No doubt.
You know, when you look at some of these hits where they're carried off the field and there's, you know, a neck injury and spinal injuries, a lot of them, you look back at the film and you're like, boy, how did he get hurt there? Yeah. It only takes, I mean, oh my gosh, it depends on how your neck is and where your alignment is on your, you know, your body and your legs. And you could hit the same type of hit, but all of a sudden your neck is turned a quarter of an inch the wrong way. And all of a sudden now you're injured, where you've had 700 tackles the same way, but it's just that one little minute positioning, and it changes everything in your life.
We almost saw it a couple of years ago up in Buffalo, and that's exactly how I thought it would happen. It was a myocardial infarction. I'm like, somebody's heart's going to stop. And then we saw a guy hit up there in Buffalo, and his heart stopped.
You better believe it.
And he didn't even get hit that hard. Like,
and it's probably, and I'm not saying it's a good thing that it happened. It placed awareness within the NFL and other organizations.
Sure.
You better have you know what together, and everybody have a defibrillator. Everybody knows what to do. And I guarantee all these trainers that are on staff and in medical teams, you know, they've been well versed and coached now of what to do, because with if they didn't act quickly with that player, he would not be with us today. And so thankfully they had some real professionals that
those paramedics jumped right on it. Yeah, they sure did, man. They sure did. Well, listen, NFL owners, quit trying to tell us it's too expensive to get.
Too expensive. Do you know how much money they make? Oh my God. Oh my God. Look what colleges make. Oh my God. Look at the guy that just at Michigan. That guy is making $23 million a year, and a college coach.
A
Come on.
college coach. There's enough money owners.
There's no way. There's no way. No way.
You gotta
That
be
is
able
a
to pay
no
that.
way. Like, come on.
Come on. You got to be able to pay. Just put the grass in for the guys. They're making you enough money. Protect the players, man. Let's go. All right. Got a little game for you here. We're going to run through a quick little game here. Now, this is going to be, I found a little thing online that had the stats from season 2 of American Gladiators.
Okay.
All right. So it had like all the stats of who did what and what games and things like that. So we're going to play a little guessing game and see how you can do on these. And we got some help from our friends over there at Tops. The old Tops cards that you didn't get paid on.
I remember those.
You didn't get it paid on. Tops, give these guys
get a dime on that one.
Give them some money, would you please? Okay. According to those stats in season 2, who do you think was for the fellas, not the ladies, for the fellas, who do you think was the #1 gladiator in assault? Now that's the game where you were shooting at the guys where they were running through the targets and you were shooting the tennis balls at them.
Maybe. Maybe myself. I don't know.
Jim, you got it. It's you.
Oh, really?
Okay. You were #1 in assault. You got it.
All
You were #1 in assault by a lot, too. They said by a lot. Like it wasn't even close. You were at like 78% or something like that.
All
right. You killed everybody in assault. All right. Now, who do you think in that season was #1 in Conquer? Now, that was the one we showed the clip of the wrestling.
Probably Nitro.
You think Nitro?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to tell you right now, no. It was, again, you. Jim, you were
wow.
You were #1 in assault.
Son of a gun.
Yeah, that's what they say. So #1 in assault. Toughest dude in that ring for assault for sure. Okay, now who had the most wins in joust? What do you think had the most wins in
either
joust?
myself or Gemini.
Jim, you were #2, and I was going to ask you, who do you think won if you were #2 and you got it? Your buddy Gemini.
Okay. All right.
You got it, man. Look, you're on fire here. You got it. Your buddy Gemini, he'd take that one home for sure. Now, here's another one. Okay, #1 in that season overall. Let's go to the wall. Where do you think you personally finished in the wall that season amongst all the male gladiators?
#1.
You think #1? It was #4.
Really?
That was your worst category. That was your worst
Was
category.
it? Oh, who was one? Who was one?
You got 4 out of 12. You know, they didn't say who was #1. They just gave I didn't look to see who was #1. Yeah, 4 for 12 in the season.
Could have been maybe Turbo or Nitro. I don't know. Maybe the one.
Yeah, probably one of those. Maybe Nitro. Probably. Okay. #1 in the season overall. Who do you think was #1 in the season overall?
Trying to think who was on the show that year. I don't think. Boy, that's a tough one. I don't know. That's a good one. I don't know.
All right, I'm going to tell you right now. You were #2. You were #2, and #1 was Turbo.
Oh, Turbo. I was going to say Turbo. Yeah, I was going to say Turbo.
Let me put that back up one time. I'm unfamiliar with this. Turbo Cowboy? I don't remember him ever being.
I don't remember that either. Turbo Cowboy.
Yeah, as far as I know, nobody was assigned a job or duties.
No.
Nobody was. He's the only one that got a job. He was Turbo
That's
Cowboy.
Funny. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah,
I don't know what was up with that, but you guys were the top 2. There you go, right there. Dynamic.
There you go.
No,
awesome.
You guys were 1 and 2 on the season. Man, you did pretty well on that. You knew that.
Thank you.
That's a long time ago. You were on top of that, my man.
Very long time.
All right, man. Let's take it home. Let's get into a little knock it off.
All right, everyone. Time to do me a favor and knock it off.
This week, knock it off. We're moving crimes against football into knock it off here. Crimes against football here, Jim. Leading the way are these two fellas. We know what they did. These are crimes against football. I'm going to say this week's crime against football is college football playoff.
Yeah.
I don't know where you stand on this, but to me, it's too many teams. It's too many teams. What are we doing? I understand it's about money, but what do you think? Too many teams?
Hate to disagree with you, Mike. I love it. You know,
Okay.
I think the more teams, the better, right? Because now you're bringing in more consumers, more people that love the game of football. They can watch their team. It just makes, to me, it makes sense because there is a lot of money in college football.
Yeah.
All these athletes, NIL deals and everything else. Plus, you know, it gives people, you know, these other programs a chance to see themselves highlighted into the brackets, right? I like it. I mean, I think it's pretty cool. I like it.
I used to that's why college football was always my favorite, Jim's, because I always felt like it was the only championship in all of sports that was the most pure. It wasn't about somebody getting hot at the end of the year and getting like you had to win all your games. You had to beat all the best teams. You had to be best of the best of the best. And I think we have a classic case for that this year. Like Georgia and Indiana in the national championship game is a pure champion, both champions of their conference. Indiana undefeated. Georgia one loss to Alabama, and then they played them in the SEC championship game and blew them out.
Right.
Like those two playing, maybe they'll get to, but that would be a pure champion. And I don't really see anybody else in this field. I mean, I don't know. To me, I think it's just too many teams.
Yeah, there's quite a few teams, but it'll make it fun. I don't know. I like it.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody else brought up the fact to me about FCS, like you're going to check out this weekend. And they said, well, Division II and FCS have always had a tournament. And I would say to that, because they had to.
Right.
Because there's so many conferences and all those teams are undefeated. You have to have a tournament of undefeated teams.
Yeah, for sure.
But you don't have that in the FBS. So I don't know. Again, I guess that kind of made to my point of like the pure champion, like FCS, you're going to get a pure champion because you got all the conference champions battling it out. You know what I mean?
Very true. Very true.
I don't know. We'll see how it goes this weekend, but we're going to pick some games. That'll take us into the Big Six Picks. Let's make the picks for this week, Jim, and see who you liked. It's the Big Six Picks brought to you by the official beer choice of DWMOD podcast. That's Old English 800. Now you're going to be up there tailgating for Montana and Montana State. Yeah. What's going to be the beverage of choice there?
Probably Michelob Ultra. Who knows?
Okay, so Mick Ultra. So you know, on the show here, we're going to try to talk you into having some brass monkeys. But
Brass monkey, that monkey, brass monkey, chunky.
Yeah, we're doing the Old English 800 with the orange juice. I
love it.
Games. Now let's see who you like this weekend, Jim.
Okay.
Game number one, Texas A&M -3.5 against the Miami Hurricanes. The over-under here is 51.5. Who do you like in this one?
I like Miami.
You like Miami in this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You think a high-scoring affair, or do you think they're going to land under?
No, I think they'll land under. Yeah, I do.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you like the under there. We'll see who Andy's going to get to later on, guys. He's going to have his picks in. He's doing something busy out there in L.A. He's on set. Couldn't make it to the time frame we had here. I like A&M as well. I think they're a better football team. I think defensively. Well, you like Miami. Sorry. I like A&M. I just think they're a better defensive football team. I think they're going to – Miami's hasn't played a lot of competition in the ACC like this.
That's true.
You know what I mean? And I think there's going to be the over. I think both these teams are going to score a lot.
Do you?
Yeah, I like them to land on the over, but I like A&M to play a little better defense. But we'll see. We'll see.
All right.
Let's jump on the second one here. Alabama -1. Bama pretty good. The only 3-loss team in the tournament here. Bama -1 against OU, who already beat them once this year. The over/under here 40.5. Who do you like?
Boy, I'd have to take Alabama. I don't know. Yeah, I think I'll take Alabama, and I think it'll be over.
You think the over?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Like tough to beat a team twice in the same year, right? You know what I mean? I hope that's the case for you guys this weekend.
Yeah, I do too.
It's tough to do. Oklahoma tough defensively. I also like Bama, but I think that defense of Oklahoma can maybe keep this thing on the under. I'm going to go Bama on the under on this one. Bama on the under on this one.
Yeah, now, Oklahoma has a good defense, so it's going to be a tough one. But
it's going to be a tough one. Really good defense. And no pressure on you before you pick the Montana State game here. But I just want to let you know, with 3 weeks left in the season in the contest, the guest pickers are beating both of the hosts of the show at this point.
Oh, wow.
The guest pickers are 44 and 44. I've got 40 wins, so I'm 4 behind the guest pickers right now. And Andy's bringing up the rear at 37. So this could be the first year the guest pickers beat us, man.
That's right.
A lot of pressure on you here. Let's jump into the one you're going to check out, buddy. It's Montana State -4.5 against Montana. The over-under here 57.5. Well, I think you probably like the Bobcats.
Yeah, definitely. I got to go with the Bobcats, even though my brother played for U of M. I think Bobcats, and I think, that's going to be I think it's going to be over. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game.
You think so? I
do.
You know what? I'm not sure, and you're probably going to be a lot more right about that than me. I just kind of feel like I'm going to flip that game on, and it's going to be snow, and it's going to be cold, and I feel like there's an under coming. But you're right. Both these teams score points in bunches.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
So this game could easily be in the 60s, 57.5. I think I'm gonna take the under. I'm also gonna ride with Montana State to pull it off, knock them off again, and beat Montana. And I will bet you dollars to donuts 4.5 points is too much for Andy, and he'll be on Montana.
Yeah,
he's play the spread guy.
Yeah, I got to tell you that that quarterback from Montana State, they had Tommy Mellott there last year. He was a heck of a player. Unfortunately, he didn't make the NFL. But, geez, I think that quarterback from Montana State is just as good as Tommy Mellott. I mean, oh my gosh, he is phenomenal.
Might be able to check him out a little better. Yeah. He's pretty damn good. I'm looking forward to watching that game because I'm a pure
it should be fun.
Fan. That's going to be a great football game. It's going to be good football. All right. Well, hey, before we quickly do the NFL here, we are required by law because we're discussing gambling to show a disclaimer really quickly. So here we go.
What advice do you have the kids not to gamble?
So with gambling, there's only there's no such thing as losers. There's winners and quitters. So you just got to keep going and just keep. And you gotta you gotta phone a friend and you borrow money. You borrow from your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, and just friends. And then there's no such thing as losing. It's a winning sport.
There it is.
Thank you.
There it is. Let's go.
Yeah, there you go. Hey,
that is funny.
We're required to play a disclaimer. They don't say which way it needs to disclaim. So don't give up, guys. Keep putting it out there.
That is funny.
Let's go. All right. Hey, in the NFL this week, a big game in the South that could decide who's going to the playoffs and winning that conference. Tampa Bay is laying 3 points to the Carolina Panthers. The over-under 45.5. Who do you like in this one?
Tampa.
You like Tampa?
Yeah, okay. I really like them. Yeah.
Yeah, Tampa Bay struggling a bit. Maybe they'll bounce back this week. Huh?
Yeah, I really like them. I think hopefully they'll do well.
And now both these teams, I don't know if there's going to be a lot of points in this one. What do you think?
I don't think so. I think it'd be under.
Yeah, I think I'm landing on the under as well because Carolina to win this game is going to have to Rico Dowdell and run the football. I'm going to go with Carolina. They've been playing well at home. Bryce getting a little better every week. I think I'm going to roll the Panthers and take the under in this one. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
We'll see what happens. Yeah. But Patriots, Ravens. This is also a big one. Pats are playing to possibly have the number 1 seed. Ravens, if they lose, they could be out of the playoffs, man. We could be looking at an AFC playoff, Jim, with no Patrick Mahomes, no Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, no Joe Burrow and the Bengals. This is crazy.
Yeah. I'd have to, since the Ravens are my son-in-law's favorite team, I got to go with the Ravens, even though I think Patriots are going to win. I'll take the Ravens, and I think it'll be under as well.
On the under. Yeah, I'm going to be on the under as well. I'm sorry, Meyer. I'm going to have to go with the Pats, buddy. I'm going to have to take the Pats. I just play good defense right now. Lamar don't look right. Give me the Patriots in this one. I'm going to take the Patriots and the under here. And the last game, also your alma mater, if you will, of the NFL. The Rams, the Red Hot Rams, probably the best team in football right now. -1 at Seattle. Tough place to play.
Yeah.
Over under 44. Who do you like in that one?
I like definitely the Rams. I think it's going to be over.
Yeah, I think the Rams and the over as well for me. I think that's the easy pick. I'll probably be laying some money on that.
Yeah.
Seattle didn't look too great last week against 44-year-old Phillip Rivers. They can score on anybody. They can score on anybody, man. So, hey, we'll get Andy's picks in later. He's sorry that he missed you. Listen, thanks for doing the show again.
Thanks, Mike.
Always really cool with your time, man. Reach out to you, and you always find some time for us. We appreciate it here at DWMOD, man. Yeah. And we like to go out on a little thing called Sports for the Win, because in a time right now, Jim, where it seems as if all the worst people are in charge of everything in this world right now, all us regular folks have is each other, right?
That's right.
Let's pick each other up and do for each other, because sports is the one place where everybody in that arena, regardless of race, creed, or color, will cheer for one thing, and especially when a team does something like this.
You'll listen to this crowd as Jack Hoffman, a young man that, as I mentioned, has really been adopted by this football team, just scored a touchdown.
That's what I'm talking about, man.
I love
bringing
that.
Bringing people together. All right, Jim. Well, hey, thank you so much, sir. We're looking forward to maybe having you on the show again if we can, brother. We'll see you next time.
All right, buddy. Thanks, Mikey.
Take it easy, man.
We cutting loose.
Touchdown.
College football is now B1G versus SEC.
Down. Hut.
If you ain't listening to All Right Bet with me and Andy St. Clair, you're throwing away money.
Ready.
All Lions fans drinking that Kool-Aid. Super Bowl. Hey, disagree with me or don't. That's how it works. Hey, thanks again, man. Appreciate it.
All right, buddy.
That was fun, buddy.
Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Hey, have a happy holiday, great Christmas, and a new year, man.
Yeah, you too. And tell Maya I said what's up when you see him. Enjoy yourself this weekend, brother, and behave.
Thanks, buddy. Thank you.
See you, man.
All right, see you.
Cutting loose.